Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Capes and Commentaries podcast, the show where Tyler and I pick out certain episodes from some of our favorite properties, give you a commentary, and a little bit more. We talk about movie news, action figures that we purchased, and whatever else is going on. I am your co-host, Nathan Kennedy, here with Tyler Baker, fresh from the beach. He's a little tanner than usual.
Yeah.
His arms have gotten a little bit smaller. He didn't get to get as many pumps in while he was there.
No. I went and worked out 2 of the 3 days I was there. So,
how was that, by the way?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, we had 1 day of bad weather, but that was taken advantage of to go do stuff that, I like to spend as much time on the beach, and so does Erica. So the day it rained, took her to a winery, and then I went to the comic book store / arcade and spent a great deal of time played some Double Dragon, and then spent the bulk of the time playing the Alien vs. Predator arcade game. I was just fixated on just playing that, and I didn't realize how close I was to beating it until I just looked up the footage on YouTube. I'm like, holy hell, man! Just like another 15 minutes, I would have beaten the game with just like a couple of dollars. So it was like I had never gotten that far before. Since I actually played the actual arcade version when I was a kid. But
did you know that Capcom is coming out with it's an odd design because it's the Capcom logo and it's got 2 joysticks that are connected.
Yeah.
But it's going to have Alien vs. Predator arcade on it. And let's here's something that we'll have to figure out, because when I started the broadcast, I have this little box up here that says Hangouts on Air is going away later this year. For quick streaming, try youtube.com/webcam. So that'll be interesting when that happens. We'll see how that's going to work with all the shows. We're going to have to change something up. Joe will be like, I can't run that. Everything catches on fire.
We'll have to go back to Skype.
Ooh, that'll be fun. We'll see how that goes.
Even with the brand new equipment Nathan said, the Joe will still require that we have to use dial-up connection and, AOL Messenger.
That doesn't even exist anymore.
I'm sure with Joe it probably does, though. But we'll deal with it as it gets closer and closer to being obsolete. We'll just try to make sure that.
I'm sure they'll have something because it'll probably be a thing. I imagine that I would go to that, and then probably I would hope there's still a way to invite people into that. That have webcams. There's got to be something. They'll figure it out. It'll be all right. And if it's not, then all the shows will just cease to exist.
You hear that, Joe? You can't fire anybody for that when Nathan's not really responsible for that.
I mean, Doug had told me, and I had seen some articles that the Hangouts on it, they were kind of pushing that away because Google's starting to kind of get rid of Google, Google Plus and all that other, all those things. They're starting to just kind of stray away from all that. And I guess it's going to be one of those things, but we'll figure it out. Before we get into our main commentary, I should have stressed this because we started taking episode numbers out, but this is actually episode 50.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah. I just noticed that when I was making all the setup and getting the links going and everything. So, oh wow, we've already knocked out 50 of these. Well, after we're done recording this, we'll be done with 50. But that's it's kind of cool.
I think we picked a pretty good one then for our 50th episode. Then I think it's a monumental movie / animated feature that we're covering. It's one of the best, if not the best, and I think, and plus, since we started with Batman, our 50th episode is Batman. It just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, I think Batman's going to be the major go-to on this show.
Yeah, I mean,
because when you really think about it, it is arguably the best animated show ever. Really, I know you wouldn't say that, but I think I would.
It's up there with He-Man, Thundercats, Turtles, and G.I. Joe. I mean, in terms of quality, I mean, yeah. If someone says that's the best, I wouldn't argue it because the quality is A plus and then some. So I would never argue anybody if they said that it was better than He-Man. I'm not going to argue that because it is the highest quality. in terms of voice acting, animation, care, and just wonderful storytelling. And as what we're doing today is probably the best example of something that where they're like, this show's meant for kids, but we're going to try and tell the most adult-oriented story we can for kids. And I'll get into my reaction to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. We'll get into that. But
go ahead and say what you got to say there before.
I was just gonna say before we dove in, was there anything that you'd want to discuss, like figure-wise? I know you made some purchases. I actually have a couple sitting right here. I've been inspired. Once again, Capes and Commentaries does so much damage to my wallet, and of course Tyler was like, "Hey man, I bought one of these." I'm like, "Well, I'll buy one of those too," and I'll just keep going. But right here we got Scarecrow and Two-Face.
Yeah,
which these guys actually just came out not too long ago, and the Two-Face is definitely compared to the one that had come out before, which I think that was just from the New Adventures, right? That they had done. It was kind of like an alteration a bit. Like his legs are definitely way sturdier.
They're thick. I mean, the New Adventure still has like a slimmer look.
Yeah,
and I still want to get it, but I don't know if it'll be as difficult to put on displays as it appears to be. But
yeah, so I got those two guys, and then I just sort of got the itch and started going on eBay, and now I just have a shitload of them heading my way.
So Nathan's taking a rake full of cash and just throwing it,
Yeah,
in every direction, and just it's raining just random action figures from Batman the Animated Series to Master of the Universe Classics.
Yeah,
Who knows what'll be coming next?
Well, I was gonna say, which I kind of go in cycles. Like I'm taking a break from the classics because I was kind of really racking up on those a little bit, and there were a couple I was eyeing. I even messaged you. I was like, I'm thinking about getting these. You're like, dude, yeah, you should do it. But then I started looking at, and I was like, maybe we should just get the animated series figures right now and just sort of concentrate on that. Not like there's too many more left to get, but yeah.
Well, once you're done, just remember come December when Bane and Mr. Freeze come out and Killer Croc. Because if you want to get that big ass like multi-pack set that has
no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I ain't doing that either. I'll wait and buy them.
Well, that's originally how it was released.
Yeah,
with Bane, Freeze, Poison Ivy. Wasn't there someone else?
Montoya, obviously Montoya, and I think somebody. Oh, it's Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Bane, Mr.
Killer Croc.
Yeah. It was like a 5-figure set, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, no, they're coming out. They're coming out again. They'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
That way. We talked about missing out on the Comic-Con figures last week. Yeah, which is that still stings, but kind of made up for that a little bit. Mine's coming in the mail today, so if the dogs just bark, it's because UPS
they're excited.
Dropped off. Yeah, they're just as excited as I am because UPS will be dropping off the quarter scale shredder from the 1990 movie, which looks fantastic. Tyler was sending me pictures last night because that was like your loan purchase at the beach.
Yeah, I got that, and then I went back and got Nathan his birthday present and traded myself to the ultimate Predator 2 City Hunter figure that I'd yet to come across in our area. And they had quite a few Predator. I mean, they had like a nice section of NECA stuff, Batman animated stuff. They had figures, but none that I was like, I really must have that now. I mean, DC Collectible. I mean, it's a store that's got everything. They've got a humongous selection of paperbacks, various vintage and new action figures, lots of comic books, vintage and new, video games, old and new, and then they've got a slew of vintage arcade machines in there, and then they got the retro room next door, which is set up like an 80s arcade, black lights, beads, everything from the 80s that was popular. And I think probably the more current one is like the first Turtles game is in the retro room now too. So it's an exciting room. I mean, place. It's overwhelming. It's like going to one of our conventions. You're just like, oh my God, like where the hell do I start, dude?
And speaking of Turtles Arcade, the One-Up Arcade company that has come out with Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat just came out, and they have multiple games in each cabinet. Pac-Man, Centipede, what have you. Announced at E3 that we're gonna get the first Turtles game, and not only just that, but Turtles in Time will also be included. And I am definitely getting that machine. There's no if, ands, buts. If don't have any money, then I will sell my body to science and try out new shampoos, lose all my hair, whatever it takes to get that machine. I will do it. It's going to be 3. It's also different as well because most of the machines have just had the 2-player joysticks, whereas this one's going to have the expanded 4-player. So how it was, and that it's going to cost a little bit extra. It's going to be $350. I think they said pre-orders should be up soon-ish. So I know that Walmart, I think it's mostly exclusive selling in stores at Walmart, but I think there are other ways to purchase them online if you're so inclined. But I have to have that machine. Tyler, I know you're going to do whatever it takes to get that as well, because that, to me, that is a must.
Well, Final Fight to me is a must too. It's just,
that one would have been good too, but like the other games on it, I think it's like 1941 and
Ghosts and Goblins, isn't that on there?
Ghosts and Goblins. I want to say Strider is on there, but like good games. But at the same time, I'm like, like with that one, they should have just had like, here's all of, or 2-3 more Capcom side-scrolling beat 'em ups. That would have been perfect. You would have done Final Fight, Alien versus Predator. Throw that one on there, because that is a Capcom property.
But just having the cabinet art of Final Fight, because that's what you're getting. Like, all that. Like, I desperately want to have that in my apartment. So
and I want the Mortal Kombat cabinet.
I want that one too, because it's got the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet art on it.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite. And I did see, because I was looking them up on Walmart, and it looks like online they offer like a payment plan.
I haven't even bothered to.
I was looking at it, and like only certain items that meet a certain price range you can get, so you can set up a payment plan.
Well, I think too that because they also announced the Marvel cabinet.
Yeah.
Did you see that one as well? Which that one's actually pretty awesome.
And I loved playing that game when it first came out. I played the hell out of that game of Spider-Man and Wolverine when it came
and they put a release date for that one as November. I don't know if Turtles would be the same way, but if it is, then that could fall in line with Walmart's policy. They do the layaway as well. So if you were to find it in store, you'd always just throw that on layaway. Granted, you'd have to pay it off pretty quick, but
I think by that point too. I mean, I've gotten a lot better of putting money aside pretty frequently with my account that I have. So I'm like, you know what, I could probably make that work. And if and I was in Walmart last night and just happened to glance, and I saw Mortal Kombat was there, but no Final Fight, and and they're a lot smaller than I realized they were. I thought they were going to be a little bit bigger, but it makes sense because they're $300, of which would be like half the cost of like the actual large machine, which would make sense. So.
But you can also get the risers as well to make it taller.
Yeah.
Which I thought, because when you look at that picture, it looks like that maybe they made, I don't know if they're going to actually sell this, but like a custom riser for the Turtles. It has more of the same art on it. But I thought, honestly, I think it'd be cool if I got the just the regular 1-Up Arcade riser. It's got their logo on it. Maybe just paint that, and then where my mom can make like the stencil, like the stickers, maybe just make some stuff and just put it on there. I think that'd be pretty badass.
That would be.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait and I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it either.
It's gonna go right here.
I do.
I've already been contemplating if I get one of these things, where it's going to go. I'll move my VHS tapes. The fly poster, I'll have to move it someplace else, and it's going to go right here.
Yeah.
And I would hope I could leave it on, so when I get up in the middle of the night on the weekends, and I come through the den, and I can see the flashing lights of Donatello.
Yeah, you can leave them on. I don't know where.
I want to see that random gameplay going on.
I guess I'm just gonna have to. Sorry, babe. Like your desk, we're just gonna have to move it somewhere. This is my room now.
Just throwing her stuff in the closet. And she has that look on her face, like, yeah, she has.
Your bed's over here.
Yeah, I'm sure she had it this week too. Watch it NHL as well. So,
that was great because for those of you that don't know, the Stanley Cup concluded. It was the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins, and I'm bummed out because the Blues beat my team, the San Jose Sharks, to make it there, and Emily's team is the Boston Bruins. So, how cool would that would have been awesome if my team would have faced her team. Well, it probably would have ended terribly for our relationship, but I didn't watch any of the games, but I would see the scores. I would refresh the score. They made it to Game 7, so I'm at work flipping through, and I'm just looking at the score, and I'm like grinning because I didn't want the Bruins to win. Let's be honest, I didn't want the Bruins to win. And she was watching the game when she got home from work, and there's about a good hour and a half, 2 hour layover from when she's out, and then I get home from my job. And I come home, and he's excited to see me, but he's just like, woo, woo, woo. And I was like, I know, buddy, the Blues just put a beating on him. She's like, shut up. So it was great. It was great. There was the fridge going. I heard it.
man, that's amazing what this little mic can pick up.
I know, right?
Jeez.
Well, now that we got all of that out of the way, I'll do some more bitching before we really get this started. I have this on DVD. Also, I have it on Blu-ray. It came with the animated series Blu-ray set. So if you guys are still on the fence with that,
what the hell are you doing? And
it's on sale right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think Amazon has it for like $53. Of course, after you already bought it. But
yes.
Put in the Blu-ray last night into my Xbox One, and the menu popped up where it's like theatrical, TV.
Yeah.
And I picked theatrical, and then it just sits there with this image, and I'm like clicking on stuff, and it says like 5 minutes, and it won't let me like go to the next chapter or pause or stop. So I take the disc out, put it back in. The shitty thing about Blu-rays is that it resumes where you were, and it wasn't working. So I ended up just putting it into the PS4, and it worked. And the other thing I always hated Warner Brother DVDs, especially early on, because not only do you get the snapper case, but you get the dual-sided discs, which I always hated because the wording around it was like, well, it would say like side A, full screen, side B, widescreen, but it was worded in a way that would almost confuse you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't like that.
Yeah, so you end up just putting the disc in, and it'd be like full screen. You're like, son of a bitch. So I always made the habit when I would put it back in the case to definitely put it on the side. That would give me the widescreen viewing. So and the snapper cases were always a pain in the ass, because sometimes they would just like break or not even click the way you wanted to. And it always stood out on your DVD shelf with everything else. It would be like, oh yeah, da, da, da. And then it just, I always hated this packaging.
It just feels like it's exposed because a standard DVD case would have like the plastic covering over the actual cover itself, and that on those they're exposed. They're more likely to get damaged or scraped or wet.
Speaking of damaged, I didn't really. Thanks, mail services. Look at that. My Amazon box came in the mail and was just like kind of crushed a little bit. And I'm like, oh my god.
Well, at least you're not a men on card collector.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just happy it didn't damage the figure. And that's the other thing. If you guys are men on card, cool, but you gotta let them breathe, man. What's the point in keeping them in the packaging? Especially if you don't have any intention to ever sell them. There's just no point.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, it can look cool if you got enough and you hang it on the wall. I've done that before. I have plenty of other men on card figures like packed away in storage, either at my parents' or at their storage building that they have. But especially those starting lineups, because that was gonna put me through college. Yeah, those things aren't worth shit.
With all those Dennis Rodmans.
I mean, it was cool.
It was cool. They still are cool.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that those things are sports memorabilia is a thing. Even with as popular as the NFL and the NBA are right now, like cards are just
yeah.
Even like McFarlane selling sports figures, like they're just few and far between. They tend to be peg warmers when you do see them, but people are still wearing jerseys and losing their shit.
Yeah,
social media. Oh my God, man, the Patriots won the Super Bowl again, or whatever the case may be.
I forgot the NBA season's over now too.
Well, I'm gearing up for free agency, man. Hoping it's gonna be very exciting to see who's gonna. People listen to this podcast, they don't give a shit about my passion for the NBA, but that's what I'm looking for.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why people like the NBA anymore anyway, but yeah. Really, there's no. I'm sorry, there's no
the star powers. I'm not arguing that.
There's no star power.
Yeah,
and if there is, they all decide to converge on one team and play together, and half the time that works, and most of the time it doesn't. Ends up backfiring on them. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there. Let's go ahead and get Batman Mask of the Phantasm started. So Tyler, without any further ado, give us that countdown.
All right. 3, 2, 1, action. Good seeing bugs.
Yeah, do that anymore at all?
No.
They should.
I want to say maybe on the occasion or something, but I don't think so. That's the commonplace, and arguably one of the most epic openings for a Batman movie ever with Shirley Walker's score. God,
I mean, I just like that immediate like just booming.
Yeah, it's something that it's amazing that they really wanted to push this operatic and very serious score. I mean, to open the film with these panning shot of just going through Gotham City as the credits roll, and I mean, letting you know like this. I'm sure parents too, when they think they're taking the kids to see a Batman cartoon, it had to like thrown. Of course, it wasn't in theaters for very long because it just was kind of thrown out last minute in theaters. As I recall, it was intended for straight to video release, and they decided to kind of release it in theaters last minute.
Well, I'm kind of doing a little bit of looking up. I was going to do this last night, but I just sat and
said, I don't give a shit.
Well, I got too comfortable on the couch. I'm like, I'm here. I'm not moving. But budget $6 million, box office 5.8 million. So it almost got there. And I would say with the subsequent VHS release and then showing it on TV as well, it definitely recouped what they spent on it.
Yeah. And I remember seeing ads for it on TV. Really wanted to see it, but it's just one of those things that I just don't recall like seeing it at the theater. But I remember seeing commercials for it. It opened Christmas Day.
Man, that would have been badass actually, because I imagine at that time it's not like it was today. Like the theaters around here would not have been open to play it.
Probably not, because back then I wasn't. Even though I would see ads for it, it's Dick Miller doing the voice of Chucky Saul. I mean, Chucky Saul. And I love this, the Indiana Jones punch coming up here. Yeah. I mean, you can't get a much more greater opening for Batman taking on gangsters here to open up a Batman film. This is everything about this film could have translated so well to a live action film, because it's pretty grounded in reality for a Batman story. And I mean the whole setup of their conference room with like a woman laying down, Batman go by. That's Batman. And Dick Miller does he would come back and play at least another voice or two in this series. And our first shot of the Phantasm's coming up now. And I remember seeing I remember the commercial for this, like the scenes that were in the commercial on TV. I mean, it was pretty exciting to know there was a theatrical Batman movie coming out, and I was so, it didn't devastate me to not see it, but it's just one of those things you just feel, when you're a kid, you only have access to so much. You're only aware of so much.
Well, back in our time, nowadays kids have access to anything they want. They have the world in the palm of their hand.
Yeah. And
but back then it was a different time. Well, and also too, like the marketing for it, there honestly wasn't a lot back then.
No, and I think that's said about it as well, that it was a last-minute decision to release it in theaters. So if it's last minute, you've only got so much time to market it, with trailers attached to, other kids' films and on TV. There was a toy line that I didn't own any of the figures of, and which I remember reading somewhere, too, that I think there might have been a slight bit of controversy because when the toys came out, the Phantasm figure has...
Yeah, it's a spoiler.
Yeah, it's a major... It's like the blank figure in Dick Tracy, because that was released with Madonna's face exposed. And here's our first death.
Yeah,
of this, the first of many in this film, which is an absolute. It's amazing too that people with an axe to grind in children's program didn't decide to come down on this film, but because it was so under the radar, I don't have time for that. It's a Batman cartoon, and that's what makes it so great. Or the shot was in the TV trailer. I remember Batman running. And it's so polished too. Like when I first saw this too, the animation, you can tell like the budget really went into making everything just look so fluid and clean and so well animated. I mean, the show itself was, second to none, but the movie just looked even better. I mean, certain shots and everything. And do you recognize the voice of a councilman here?
No, not right offhand.
Hans Booby, I'm your white knight. It's Ellis from Die Hard, dude. Come on, man. Thought you were a true fan.
Oh my god. You know me, when it comes to like most of the stuff, like the voice, like who did this and your movie quotes, I'm about as clueless as Joe can be. Sometimes, most of the time.
I honestly, sometimes I expect you to do a lot better. Like we all know Joe's a fake and phony, and if it's Friday the 13th, nothing registers with him, unless it's a guy hacking away at somebody in the woods, and even then, he's still questionable.
I don't know. I think part of it too is just my memory just sucks now. If this would have been 10, 15 years ago, I would got it on the spot. But
well, now, then again, too, I spend a lot of my free time watching this stuff over and over and over.
Yeah, I don't have that much free time.
No, I'm talking about as kids. Like you were playing baseball and stuff, and I was playing sports, but also still watching this stuff on TV.
Man, I was too busy like playing sports and getting dragged to see something about Mary and.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love this scene right here because I think in any Batman film you have to establish just that playboy aspect of Bruce Wayne.
And I like seeing this too. Like it has flavors of the '89 film. Like Bruce Wayne throwing a big gathering at his house.
this stupid.
Yeah.
The I word, engagement.
This young lady, we would see her in the animated series like Joker's Wild. Like she's a Bruce's date to the hotel in that episode. So there's a little bit of continuity for you. I forget what her name was, but they draw women very beautifully in this show.
Yeah. Well, I think Talia al Ghul was
arguably the most beautifully drawn.
Which eventually we will get to part 2 of that.
We just like bouncing all over the place as people who listen to the show. You guys understand that by now. But when I saw this as a kid for the first time on VHS, I was bored.
Yeah,
because it was not as action heavy as the show tended to be, and God, I just looked back at how foolish I was. But I just did not have that palate to appreciate how adult this story is with the flashbacks and giving us arguably the quintessential Batman origin story that, we didn't get an origin story with the Keaton films, even that's what Keaton wanted to do with the third film. But I'm sorry. This is a wonderful origin story we don't get his training, but seeing Bruce's past of he's thinking about this and is making plans to become this, crime fighter, but just it's done so well. It's such a short film, and yet, so many films have come and gone and have yet to be able to capture that magic of this. And it's perfect writing and setting up this love story that makes Bruce question his path and ultimately leads him on that path. And there's no turning back. But it's great to see that vulnerability with Bruce.
Justice League 2 is opening up this weekend. You gonna go see it?
What the hell was that about when you posted that?
It's how when Marvel is like, oh, here's our slate for all of our films. DC did that as well after Batman v Superman and Justice League. They had that stuff on their plate, and that was part of it. Justice League Part 2 was supposed to open this weekend, but everything just failed miserably and caught on fire. So yeah, that was the irony of it. That's why I posted it. I'm like, it's funny. They bungled it up. They messed it up really bad.
Which, I mean, I don't care how much money Marvel's making. To me, the quality is no different than DC. It's still just ham-fisted and very general audience. This right here. And look, I'm telling you, I did not like this as a kid. I rented it, and I thought it was okay, but just did not appreciate it. Me and my brother both didn't like the idea that Andrea was the Phantasm because she was a girl.
Spoilers, by the way, if this is your first time watching it.
Oh, you know what? Stick it up your ass if you have not watched Phantasm. All this time late. Now. I can't.
But no, it's definitely proved because you had mentioned before. I'm sure parents taking their kids to see this when it came out were just thinking I'm taking them to another animated movie. It's not going to be much different than a Rock-a-Doodle-Doo or whatever.
God, Rock-a-Doodle-Doo.
Yeah, there's a reference for you.
Yeah.
But there's something here that adults can really sink their teeth into. So when it comes to how the story is laid out, as a kid, I felt the same way as you. I'm there's action spots in it, but everything else, I'm just kind of I don't know how to feel
and even
about
the
it.
Action that's in it was just not as this. I didn't find any of this stuff because he's not Batman. I didn't get what they were doing here, which is absolute golden. Everything we're seeing here is better than anything we've gotten in any of the movies in terms of a backstory for Batman. Him starting out as just this mass vigilante and takes a few bumps still, and realizing, hey, they weren't afraid of me. We see a kind of sample of that in Batman Begins, but this was done, so much better. And even though animation, you're not really limited in terms of what you can do on screen, but still, the story is so tight. We're talking a little over 60 minutes, and we're given a story that includes the Joker and his backstory in it, and you feel like you've gotten so much in just over an hour than any 3-hour film could give you today. And that goes to show you that the guys behind this show, everybody from, Andrea Romano, who's in charge of the voice acting, like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, and the rest of the crew, these guys really wanted to write a genuinely good crime story, an action story. Their emphasis on using guns, that there's going to be punching and kicking and not shying away from, comic book violence. And that it, looks like an up-to-date, Superman Max Fleischer cartoon, which I noticed that too as a kid. This kind of reminds me of the Superman cartoons. But, and knowing that, we watch this because they're still great. Me and Nathan are not watching this out of nostalgia. This is, if you said this was better than Batman 89, I'm not going to argue that because it's a perfect film. It's a perfect Batman film. And that's why we're doing this, because it's next to Batman 89, the greatest Batman film we've ever gotten. And
a great poster too. We can't stress that enough. I mean, obviously you get the same thing on the cover of the media, but man, I have the poster hanging here, signed by Kevin Conroy, and
as do I.
Just every time I'm sitting there on the recliner, I can just look in, and that's the first thing I always look at. I'm just damn, it's just so cool. It just looks so good.
It's simple, but God, is it beautiful. something that done for an animated film. Two characters are on the poster, but it leaves an impression, even today, that people who are in charge of making movie posters either don't have a clue, or the people calling the shots are not allowing people to make creative movie posters.
Floating heads everywhere.
Yeah.
You would think that now that we've kind of reached this apex of nostalgia with pretty much everything these days, that they would go back to like painted posters and having like good art to like hang and get people excited. But I guess it's different because people aren't, like, when they go to the movies, they're not looking at the promotional materials.
Yeah, well, they're relying
so
much on social media for like images and trailers and behind the scenes videos and stuff. The posters, because we didn't have internet, is what you saw coming soon. Or when you go to the movie, what are we going to go see? That looks really cool. I mean, and then you would see it in magazines and things like that too. So I guess their idea is like, well, we're not going to spend all this money on a great artist to make a kick-ass poster to draw people's attention. Just throw some shit out there. It doesn't really matter. It's all about letting everyone know, what latest trendy actors in this piece of shit. By the way, Kevin Hart's in it doing all the whole bug-eye thing. Whatever.
I have watched Central Intelligence with him and The Rock. I watch dumb shit when I get really drunk.
Well, and Nathan can make it enjoyable because when he's drunk, he really cuts into bad movies. So,
oh man, this scene is great. If you guys are following along with us, Bruce and Andre are making out, and Alfred's just like out there in the grass. Here we go.
And I really like Dana Delaney as Andre, and she would go on to play Lois Lane in the Superman cartoon as well. She does such a great job of selling, a very on guard persona. Like she's clearly interested in Bruce, but she has her guard up, and then she lets it go, and then she becomes a very cold and emotionless woman later on, and she does such a great job of playing young Andrea to the troubled and vengeful Andrea. And I love this segment. This is like something right out of a gangster film. Like I could see Tim Burton directing a segment like this, and like in the same vein as the first Batman, with all the gangsters dressed in trench coats and fedora hats and Tommy guns and like smoking cigarettes. Just something that it's a simple segment, but it adds flavor to the characters. And what we're dealing with gangsters here. We're not dealing with lame ass criminals and some hell. I don't even know if children's animation even has stuff like this nowadays, like gangsters and your standard crooks.
There's just everything is just complimenting itself. Yeah, in this just throughout the film, but especially here. We always make mention of like shadow work in some of our favorite cartoons, and there's no doubt about it. Like right here, we get all this shadow work. The animation's perfect. The way that the music just adds to it, like building. We can't stress this enough for the next hour that's left of this movie. It's so much good quality shit, not only for kids but for adults. There's so much that you can really sink your teeth into.
That's why I feel like so many people. That's such a great revealing shot. I mean, there's so much care in how the Phantasm is handled in this, and I mean, this is extremely haunting. And this is a testament to Shirley Walker and her score. God, she's someone that I don't think ever gets enough credit for her contributions in film soundtracks. Like, she did Escape from LA with John Carpenter. She worked on, this series, vigorously, amongst many other great pieces that she's done too. And just someone that I don't think gets mentioned enough in terms of like doing memorable scores. I mean, because she did music for every episode. She had an full orchestra to do music for every one of the episodes, and you get something like this where it's a lot more old, like the shot.
Yeah,
with the angel.
And not only that, like this takes turn that you know where it's going, but it's still kind of unexpected for what we're dealing with. This is meant for kids.
And they do a great job of like, people are going to die, but we're not going to show heavy blood and guts and, you know, cadavers and things like that. But, you know.
But you can hear it.
Oh, yeah. You're like, you know, he's dead. Like, cut. Like, that tells you all you need to know. And plus, when the gangsters come over here and sell it. You know, it's. I mean, as kids, you know, we knew what happened. We're not.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not like, oh my God, Mom, he's dead. You can't believe it. I got to go home, you know, change my diaper.
I also like the fact, too, that this is the second time that just based off of the shadowing, people just assume that it's Batman. That's doing it.
It's great storytelling. And I forgot that actor who plays, God, I'm going to kick myself in the ass, who's playing Sal Valestra, because he played John Travolta's father, and Look Who's Talking. He was in The Godfather. Damn it! It's fucking the shit out of me. But if you look it up, it's gonna like, what is it? Look it up real quick, because I'm gonna.
Oh, Abe Vigoda.
Abe Vigoda. Damn it, man! God.
From Good Burger fame.
Well, I look at him as, you know.
He was in Good Burger, right? I feel like
I never
he was.
saw Good Burger. I was like, I'm done with all that crap.
I mean, I didn't either, but I'm pretty sure he was in Good Burger. Yeah, he was in Good Burger as Otis.
Yeah, I'm always going to remember him as the cranky father John Travolta had, who was taking Mike and screaming at all the nurses. It was pretty funny.
Oh, and I also like this part. We got to talking about how they think that it's Batman, and Gordon's going to come out. He's like, it's not him.
And that councilman is just, you know.
Oh, never mind. That wasn't the scene.
Well, no, but he's just clearly is trying to catch, you know, thinks it's Batman and it's going to make himself look good. But, you know, just another sleazy councilman who has a past. Which that's another great thing too. Oh, this animation of Batman walking through the graveyard is so beautiful, and taking time to go visit his parents' grave.
Yeah.
I mean, it just. And it's all, you know, you buy all of this, of how all this works. Like Andre is there and catches Batman and sees where he was at. I mean, you buy all of it. Plus, especially when you realize what she's been doing since she's been gone, you know, on the same path essentially as Batman. Honestly, like, I don't know if they ever have, but I'm surprised if they have, please correct me. Why not bring the Phantasm back to the Batman lore? You know, I think she's a wonderful idea. I think the fact that she, you know, I don't need to necessarily learn where she got her training and her tools to become the Phantasm, but she went on the same path as Batman, and she's not afraid to kill. You know, she's kind of like a female Punisher almost, but a very likable one too. Like that's what's so great about this character, is that they write her as like a character with flaws. You know, she's got a lot of layers to her. She's not, I'm girl power. You know, I'm a woman. I'm fighting today. I'm doing what men can't. There's no agenda there. They're just writing her as a great character, and you're not quite sure what she's been up to. She's back now. It's just, those guys know how to write female characters. They know how to write characters in general. And the fact that she is a woman is obsolete. It means nothing.
Different times, though, too. Yeah. Like, everyone's got to be on that.
They care about story. Now today, they're trying to get that blue ribbon and that pat on the back for, look what we're doing.
I like that shot right there.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a great shot.
Definitely a little bit in term. It kind of reminded me like Ren and Stimpy. You know, it would kind of stick out a little bit, but in a good way.
Yeah, I like how this is kind of you don't really know it's foreshadowed, but this world of the future would be coming back later on in this
film. Right. What a time that must have been in when you think about back in the 60s, like at Disneyland, when that opened, and how they would have like the world of tomorrow, and let's look into the future and see how everything's going to be. And a lot of stuff has changed, but it's kind of funny how people as a society, we don't really notice the change until we really look back on it. So that's kind of funny. Because even 20 years ago, just how different everything was. And now, like, you can just have everything here. Like calculator, calendar, your music, what have you.
Phone calls, all done on one small device. And it's, because so much is constantly, gradually changing within small amounts of time. Yeah, it's hard to notice, like, drastic changes until you really stop and look back.
Yeah. Which is it's just kind of ironic in a way.
There's our kind of nod to the Batmobile.
Yeah. Still waiting on those flying cars, by the way. It's been brought up in the chat. They did have her show up briefly in that Justice League series episode where Terry McGinnis's origin is explained. Don't know.
In the first episode of Batman Beyond?
No, I maybe it was the. Is it?
There's a Justice League episode where you have like the future Justice League, which has got Terry McGinnis and
maybe that's
Hawk Girl and Green Lantern's son. You got Black Lightning. Is that his name?
Think. But was there a reference to her in that episode?
I can't remember, but actually, like, bringing her back as like a regular character in the Batman mythology, I think that would be pretty badass. Because it's fun to know that Bruce, over the years, he's had relationships with a lot of women, and some of the most memorable are the ones that he tends to be, they tend to be on the other side of the law sometimes.
The ones that leave scars, literal and figuratively.
Yeah, they tend to be the most memorable. So with her, Talia, and Catwoman, they make for quite an interesting trifecta of beautiful yet very troubled women. And Stacy Keach playing the voice of Mr. Romano here, who also does the voice of the Phantasm as well.
We need to throw this out to Fathom Events.
Oh, they already did. They did this.
They already did this?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I kind of do remember seeing like a brief thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't go to that because they play it on weird days. Assholes.
I wish they would do it more often, though.
I do too.
It's only just one night, and it's always like on the most odd night. Like they never, as if
Tuesday night. Oh, great! I'll be at work. Thanks.
And this creep sitting in the car here. See, this is the kind of past I want to see for the Joker. Who is just a real douchebag of a guy to begin with, and loved what he did. And the accident just sent him over the edge in terms of what he was capable of. Not someone who's, I don't know. I think that's the way it always should be. Even though I love the Killing Joke, and I love how the animated series acknowledges Joker's like real name is Jack Napier. I just always thought that was so cool, and you'll see nods to that in the series. And a nice little sequence of Bruce getting closer and closer to becoming the would-be hero.
Hope that guy can swim.
You can see in the movie. Yeah.
I love this shot coming up right here. It's awesome. Like, Bruce is ready for it. Dude's got chain and a bat on his motorcycle, and the impact here is fantastic.
Yeah.
To me, this is one of the moments in the movie that would kind of, as a kid, make me like jump out of my seat and just be like, yeah.
Yeah, this I always thought was a cool shot. Like, this
right
punch.
There. Yeah.
It's so well animated. Hints of Batman already.
It was the Justice League cartoon, Justice League Unlimited, as a season finale. Amanda Waller explains how Terry came to be. It was in the Cadmus story arc season and was the season finale for it.
Okay, I've got that. I just haven't.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch Justice League Unlimited. Which the Tim verse, man. It's
It's the best. I mean,
and
it's a shame too because they act as if like, shows that treat superheroes with dignity and a bit of a serious tone won't sell today, and yet those guys were doing Batman and DC cartoons. I mean, until you and I were adults. So clearly they were successful for quite a long time, and why people feel like they have to make things silly as shit for kids to like, oh man, look, it's Batman, he's all phony and stuff. I don't know why people feel like that a serious Batman for kids wouldn't work today. I don't understand that.
Hey man, I'm not gonna get us on that Nolan kick.
Nah, and I don't need to do that. It's just when you see how well done this is, like I hope to one day be able to show this to Bryant, because Bryant is really getting excited about seeing Batman in general, like along with Superman. So, and I know my brother would be anxious to show him some of this stuff too. So I'd be very curious, because I don't think he certainly would be able to appreciate Phantasm, unless I showed him the Joker stuff, because he loves the Joker.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, and that was something too when I saw this. Like, where's the Joker at? Because he was in the commercials. Like, the Joker's supposed to show. Where's the Joker at? Because God, I was so about the Joker as a kid.
This one hits. Yeah.
And it's a testament to Kevin Conroy too, doing such a great job of selling the conflict. The rain effect on Bruce's face, like all the details.
It really goes to show just the psychological damage that has been done to him from losing his parents at a young age.
And that you feel like, you know what, maybe, when he's not really focused on romance and sees that he has opportunity, you know what, maybe defending, Gotham from crime is not a priority anymore. Like you could, and that's a plausible thing to see with Batman before he becomes Batman, or in, maybe even the early stages of being Batman, even though, that's up for debate in the films that we've gotten. I feel like that's something that if you're going to establish Batman well into being Batman, you can't have a storyline that he decides, I'm not going to do this anymore after doing it for 10 years. Like, that's not the character. If you're going to do it, show conflict in the beginning. I just like seeing all the gangster connections here. Like, as a kid, went over my head. But, God, you see Martin Scorsese directing something like this. Oh, damn it.
Forgetting more names again?
No, oh, God, you just told me his name.
Abe Vigoda?
Abe Vigoda. Son of a bitch. I just love his portrayal of Sal here, all sick, and he's got the whispery mustache and the liver spots all over him, and just all the details and just how
the cough and the oxygen,
the coughing. Yeah, it's great touches, and I'm just gonna call him Ellis for fun.
No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. Anytime I hear pull over,
yeah,
in a film, I have to, and then I look at Emily and I'm like, you know what that's from? She's like, yes, I know.
I didn't care about it the first time.
And obviously a big part of establishing a good Batman film is have that detective work in there.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be much. Doesn't have to be anything.
No, just see hints of it here and there, and times where he's in the Batcave doing work, conversing with Alfred. And I like this bit of banter between the two of them. And then Alfred's not afraid
I wiped your ass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're wrong though. You don't know me.
Which you can watch this and just know that Batman has to keep up that cold front because he is human, which makes him vulnerable to whether he's not going to sell it to people. He's just not going to. And I get it, which is why it works so well that he would run off Dick Grayson, who becomes Nightwing, and why he would butt heads with the various Robins and Batgirl over the years too, because he's not going to back down. Andrea's father. I mean, they really add such a cinematic aspect to all these flashbacks and the emotion and the touches of romance that are thrown in here.
But you can see why kids would probably not be as glued to their screens. But
yeah,
that's how I'm gonna propose to Emily. I'm just like, here, you
I'm
get
not good with this. You
you
get the
get it
idea.
right.
And she's like, oh man, and she puts it on like the wrong hand. This is gonna look awesome when I go to work. Thanks, Nathan. She slaps you on the shoulder. So what's for dinner?
Yeah,
she does a great job.
Changing the plan.
Yeah.
Oh God, bad.
Oh, son of a bitch!
That's so scary. Now I know what I can do.
Maybe this will happen to Nathan when he,
Yeah. I got to be Batman now. I'm gonna say I hope that we get, and I know that you don't have much interest in it, but I hope that we get these elements in that Joaquin Phoenix Joker film. I really do. Like just the aesthetic. I know the time period too, but if they can kind of mash it with like 30s, 40s gangster-esque. I don't know. I know people are.
I don't get that vibe at all from it. If that's what they're going for. I love Joker being a prick there. I love that. Love it. But if that's what they were going for, then I probably would feel different about it. But this just looks like a movie that says it's taking place in the 80s.
We'll see how that turns out.
Oh, yeah. I think you'll be going solo without me on that one there.
I'll drag
unless something drastically happens in the new trailers, but I just it's not something I'm interested in, and the trailer just doesn't look like it's going to be anything that's going to leave a lasting impact on people. Other than they might walk out, it was pretty good, but nothing that's going to make you want to walk out and
soul crushing.
Damn it! Good stuff. Puts the nail in the coffin for the future. And all this, like you buy it, you don't feel like it's forced or ham-fisted or it's a bit hard to swallow. It's a little too convenient. It's such a great mystery woven into a Batman origin.
And right here,
yep,
getting everything suited up. Yeah, Carl.
That, yeah, this doesn't say anything.
Well, not only that, but also Alfred's reaction when he puts it on and turns around that we see right here. There you go. That's all you need. And then that shot as well.
And the music. Seeing all those guys and the Joker in the background, so cool. God, I love this movie so much. Here we are. We're getting ready to see the Clown Prince of Crime here. Finally.
I feel like as a kid, you probably like fast forward through most like up to this point, and then you would hit play right here.
I'd sit through it, but believe me, when he would come out, I was like, yes, finally. Because that was one of the big selling points for me to want to see it, was that I thought the Joker was going to be like the big villain of it, which he becomes a big villain of it, but not in your normal sense. And here he is with a Tommy gun. You get ready to shoot. Yeah. Joker with a Tommy gun. You can't get any more cooler than that. Yeah. Mark Hamill should have gotten an Oscar for this movie. He's overdue.
It would be nice to find a way to meet him and get his autograph on that poster.
I say, man, hell with Star Wars. I want to talk to him about the Joker. That's how I've always felt.
Same here.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, between Luke Skywalker to this, it is like a huge drastic. You wouldn't expect this voice to come out of Luke Skywalker, you know?
No, and I was shocked when I found out my buddy Matt Hilton, when we were kids, told me about that. Like,
yeah, same here. Yeah.
I had no idea, but it was I found out relatively soon once the show was up and running. And I still am very curious to know what Tim Curry's, because Tim Curry was cast to play the Joker. And I've heard that there was, sound bites, but I've yet to come across it, and I don't know if it's easy to find. If it is, I haven't seen it. And I love this little gag here of him kicking in Rusty.
Yeah.
With the bent tail and all rusted up. And that's what makes the Joker so is like this guy can be funny, but he can be just, absolutely insane.
Meatloaf again.
The lunch. God, Mark Hamill's so good. And how he just keeps shoving Sal around here. He gets ready to shove him here again in a second. I always thought this was such comedic. This. And how they animate his manners. Like, he's so laid back, and then he's like listening to Sal, putting his fingers together here and just thinking. And it's just such an interesting.
I like how he calls him Guano Man.
Yeah.
The first time I really remember hearing Guano was Guano.
Ace Ventura 2.
Yep. Oh, it's bat shit. Yeah. Bat droppings.
Joker's like, ugh. Like, he's just like, I don't do this stuff for money. This is probably if I were to meet Mark Hamill, this is what I would want him to autograph on my poster. This line coming up. I love this, the rage. And don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been. I love that line. And you just really feel it for a moment, like, all right, there's going to be an alliance here. But I love to see the sweat on his face because he's nervous meeting with him. And see, that's pure evil, and that's the Joker. Something that clearly Jared Leto just didn't get.
That line's going to stick with me forever. The grape soda's on ice, and the bearskin rug is waiting.
And I'm sure the powers of this is genius. They'll be putting this on t-shirts and Hot Topic in no time.
Yeah, it was...
Grape soda sales will be going to the roof.
You really fucked it up. They fucked it up so bad.
Everybody in that movie did.
Tell me about this picture.
Like, the touch is like, she's like wearing nylons, taking heels off, and just, it has an adult element to it that you would not see in a standard children's show, like an adult woman. She's getting ready to fix herself a drink.
But like they did play it on TV. So I wonder kind of how that worked out for.
Yeah, which I've always watched, the theatrical version, like the VHS version and everything. So this is just great dialogue between her and Batman. This is
that's the only one in this room controlled.
That's a
by
shot
the parents
to the balls.
is you.
Like, Batman can't do nothing about that. That's good writing, and that makes her a kick-ass character. And a very troubled character too. Like, just
we see this right here. It definitely still affected by what had happened earlier on in their lives,
and that connection that she still has with Bruce, and that she's not going to go back on what she's already on right now. Like, seeing that shot of the Phantasm, like looking down on Sal's house, and the eerie, haunting music as she goes through there, and this is one of the best shots in the film, and the music that plays, like it's something out of a horror movie. Like, this just makes the Joker that more scarier. It was just waiting like that. I just love the intelligence of the Joker in this. God, that's so cool. Oh, just pure glory.
And that's also a really cool shot.
Yeah.
As well.
I just love the visual of the Phantasm. It's such a simple look, but damn, is it effective.
Yeah, I got that 2-pack coming in the mail.
Yeah, I know. Once you bought it out from under me there, I've been like looking for a relatively decent option to buy it myself because I have to have it, along with many others from this animated series, which I'm so glad that they've been pushing out figures focusing on this animated series, and as God knows, there's been plenty of characters to make from it.
But definitely on a first watch through, the mystery and intrigue is like, obviously we know who's under the hood here, but that first time, it's got to be magical for people. I would hope.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, you could show this, and I feel like for someone, if you're showing this to someone who, a cartoon, why would it be? It's like, you don't understand. Like, this cartoon was made for kids, but done by adults. I mean, even though, yes, all animation is done by adults, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's essentially, it's like they decided to make an adult Batman film for kids. I mean, that's pretty much the best way to describe it. And
well, even Emily, when I told her what we were doing for the show this week, she's like, "Oh, good, finally something that, like, I'm really excited to watch."
Well, if she had to find something to be excited about, I'm glad she's excited to give this a shot.
I feel like I just got to get everybody that they've put out. I really do. I feel like I need the complete set. I need and that's gonna be because I know Clayface and Man-Bat are kind of expensive. I'll find a way.
But hopefully, they keep re-releasing these figures every so often. So hopefully, and I often feel like the bats from the animated series and not the New Adventures, they tend to be the more popular. I think you can find like the redesigned look figures relatively easy.
Oh yeah,
and typically not that expensive. But from those first couple of years of animated series and this, I mean, the figures they're not cheap. You jerk!
Get a light up there.
I forgot what the actor's name is, but he was in Total Recall. Played Douglas Quaid's buddy who attacks him when he's trying to go home.
Look at that, kids! We got some blood.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing Batman selling and all beat up and cut up.
Batman doing the Batman things. He's got to, and this is cool too.
Yeah. I always like how the part of the police force looks like something from the future, and the rest of them looks like from a noir film in the 30s or the 40s.
Right. That's the thing that we always go back to anytime we watch an episode from this series. It's just you can make it work by blending in, like,
and you don't have to explain it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
We didn't.
You don't second guess it.
Yeah. I didn't question it all. Like, when does this show take place? I don't get it. This is like mixing up all these like different elements. Like, no, it looks awesome, and there's some shit you just don't have to explain, people. And that shot of Bullock, like, I'm gonna get that son of a bitch.
And there's Alfred with a little smart assness.
Yeah. And implying that these two, they do have some horizontal rumba. I think that's
well.
I mean, hey, when we see her the next day and she's wearing Bruce's shirt and nothing else, I think it's safe to say,
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Yeah, she's another beautifully drawn figure too. So I'd say next to her and Catwoman. I love Selena Kyle in this show. That Joker's pointy nose. Just love that. Wow, so cool. Yeah, this is a great gangster moment here. See, even though like Ed Vigoda has like an old, very, very distinct voice, it works for young Sal and old Sal. And that these three are pretty much a tight unit, at least right now. Saying, I'll have your heart in my hand, like dialogue you take for granted in adult films, but something that's not something you hear, that kind of threat in a cartoon like this.
It's because I haven't really watched any of the newer DC animated movies. I imagine that, especially the ones that are PG-13, they try to do this, and most of them just, it seems like they're trying too hard.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of what turns me off is the voice acting is just dreadful. Just it doesn't work. It doesn't match. And I know there's a lot of people who do like those a lot, but I mean, anytime I try to give them a shot, I'm like, God, this is terrible. Like it's just the dialogue's not very good, or the voice acting doesn't match the character. And I'm very picky about it. There's no, I'm open and honest about that, as I am about a lot of things from what I desire from entertainment. But you know, I mean, come on. When you've seen how good it can be, why the hell should any of us have to settle for less? And so many people may really love what they've done, and I wish I could. I really wish I could buy every one of those DC straight to video features that they've done. But a lot of them I don't like, and some I blind bought, and I thought they sucked.
Batman Turtles actually worked,
which was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I was worried about it, but it worked. Troy Baker does a pretty decent Kevin Conroy impression.
Yeah.
Wait, don't go. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, Alfred. God, he's just like, damn it. Not again. All right. I'll just let this tea get cold.
Yeah. See, this clearly implies, you know.
Yeah, the waves there signify things.
The waves,
too.
And look, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, man, that was good. She's having her morning coffee, wearing one of his shirts, yes. But it's done so elegantly, you know. It's not done with like, you know, oh man, how about a little bit more last night? Like you get it. But even for kids, for like a 5-year-old, but clearly she's if she's wearing anything else, it's maybe some panties, and that's about it. But it's nothing explicit that would make a parent like, oh dear God, you know, that's it. We're leaving right now. And jerks up little Nathan or little Tyler from the theater.
Yeah, your dad jerks you up. That's it.
That's it. You're gonna go home and you're gonna write like a 500-word essay about how sorry you are.
But you brought me to this.
It doesn't matter. And this makes sense too, that Bruce feels so good about this, but the minute he does a little bit more detective work here, like, okay, don't have time for what could be.
And that was a good shot, looking at the picture of them and then seeing the picture of his parents.
Yeah, it's a good transition. This,
And this is also, to me, a nod from '89.
Yeah. And to me, this is what the Joker should always be. A man of mystery, but you know he's not a very nice guy. And this coming up is arguably the best scene in the movie. It's a terrifying introduction to the Joker, to his ties with the councilman here. Oh God, I love this. That's like '89 too. Him coming out of the shadows, wearing the coat and the hat. I'll let Joker rolls his eyes here. Wacky pal. This is why I want that box set of Joker with like the multiple faces that comes with this outfit. And all this, like the hat down, tilting it up with the letter opener. And just the threatening gesture.
I think that set's pretty expensive.
It is, but it's definitely the
I already bought 5.
Of course you did. And I'm just gonna leave them on the floor and not even open them. It'd be great.
Yeah, I still got those turtles on the floor.
Of course you do. Because that's what you do. You just stockpile everything and tell me that you got it. This not displayed or anything.
This weekend, well, dude, anything that's so articulated, I have to think about how I'm going to pose it and blah, blah, blah. If I can just take something out and just set it on the shelf, minimal, like cutting or taking out the twisties.
Oh, believe me, when I got home, I popped open all 3 of those purchases I had from NECA. Like I am not wasting time. I got them up. I couldn't be happier with how they look. While you're just happy to sit there and just like, maybe someday. Oh, you devil. God, I love that. I mean, from here, Joker, is like becomes the villain of it. That's a great shot. And this coming up here with him makes you throwing him on the table. That's scary Joker. God, yeah. they storyboarded this so well, and then transition right to the hospital.
And we still have his laugh echoing.
Yeah. How hard this had to have been for him.
Which transitioned into this, yeah.
Because he does such a great job of selling just insane, laugh, all that. Like throwing his head back into the pillow, like just such detail. Like he's out of it. He's insane. And Bruce Timm is right. Like they couldn't really do death, but to have the Joker leave his victims like this, or they're pretty much dead with that laugh. That pretty much tells you all you need to know. I love he starts laughing the minute Panic comes in. God.
Oh, no.
I love how Conroy's angry Batman is just coming out now. God, this is so good. I mean, they really sell like the tears and the sweat and his hair all disheveled. Like they really just sell the madness he's going into right now.
Just laughing that much would like hurt.
God, yeah.
It'd be like that time Joe showed his childhood customs and I couldn't stop laughing. Sorry, there's like I was gonna say sorry. There's like dead air, but
it's just fun watching Batman do more detective work. Is he's just essentially snooping around, but taking the chance to answer a phone call that's meant for her. Which for the longest time, I always thought he knew Batman was on the other end, as if he was watching the whole time. But he clearly thinks he's trying to kill Andrea.
Also a good line.
Yeah. Him laughing at the explosion. And then, Operator, my part has been disconnected. Got it. It's just so great. Oh, man, he's just so perfect.
I bet as a kid you're like, man, another flashback.
Yeah, they did get to me quite a bit just because I was more about the current story. And like I said, me and my brother both were just put off when we realized that it wasn't Andrea's father, it was the Phantasm. But as an adult, I think it's great. It was one of those things when you see like the girl was the Phantasm. It was like, oh man, I don't buy her. But no, it was just being young and naive, and really, this was perfect. This was absolutely perfect. Yeah, this is great.
I want a fried bologna sandwich. I was saying this yesterday. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Maybe I'll rectify
I hate
that
the smell of
weekend.
bologna.
Really?
I loved it as a kid, but
I remember. Like you're the pick. You between you and Josh, I'm gonna say that you were probably the pickiest eater out of everybody that I know.
I've gotten better as I've gotten older, though. But people are not going to take time to know or learn about what I will and will not eat because they just assume I'm still like 5-year-old Tyler.
Ah, there we go. There's the reveal.
The big reveal. I just love that. I mean, that seeing Joker punch a woman, like multiple times here. That's just another one of those things that people are throwing fits over a cover of him holding back girl in a threatening manner, like, "Oh, you can't depict that," and here he is beating the shit out of her. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, there we go. Right in the nuts.
He's not above a classic nut shot. Oh no. He comes at her with the egg. And of course, would grab bologna here in a second. I love that. All this is great.
Has a choice between that and the chopper.
I love her gimmick, just emerging out of smoke like that. That's just a great. It just makes you wonder about how she got her training and where she got all those tools. I don't want to know, but it makes it fun for thought. This is great. Smokey the Babe. Oh, to pick me up. Ah, I love that laugh. And the shot of him right there. Oh, it's so cool. All this is so well animated too. And Dana does a great job of selling, being pulled by a giant fan with her voice acting here. I think Batman with the Bat Cycle is coming out later this summer.
Man. I guess I'll be spending some more money then.
And they did like a Batcave set with Alfred that's already sold out, I saw.
I think Big Bad still got it in stock.
Do they? Okay, cool.
And of course, they did the Batmobile.
Yep, which looked phenomenal. And they've done the Batwing too, I believe. And Joker just snaps his fingers like, damn. Coming up. There it is. Yeah. Love that. I like how they show her like she's kind of ashamed of what she's been like she feels bad in front of Bruce that she knows what she's been doing is wrong, but she feels like that's all she has. And again, she puts him in his place.
Yeah. I'm with her on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's done a lot of nut kicking in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, this I couldn't wait to see as a kid. The inevitable showdown between Batman and Joker. And I remember seeing that in the trailer too, like them inside the model set of the city, which is like Batman and Joker fighting and they're like giants in the city. Like, what's that all about? I just thought it looked so cool. I didn't know what it was, but it looked awesome. This sequence here, like, oh, this is so cool because it just visually, like the Warner Brothers logo. That's a fun little gag. Simple but so effective. I love this. Joker attacks him with the building. Yeah! Oh, it's so cool. Busts his mouth open, knocks out a tooth. And they even sell that later on. I mean, throughout the rest of this, he's missing a tooth. Like, I just love the attention to detail they threw in there.
And just having like the bloody nose and wiping it away. Small, simple touches.
Yeah. Blood. More blood. More blood. And Joker's still just hamming it up. I love that.
That's the beautiful thing about his character. Like, he's evil, and there's not much rhyme or reason to it, and he doesn't care about money. Like, he's just amusing himself.
Yeah.
And and I think that's what draws people in. Like, your nephew. Like, he just sees him having a good time and laughing and not having a care. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I see him today, I'm going to ask him, Brian, what's Joker do? And see if I get him to go, ha, 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 ha. Because he'll be asking me to see Joker or Superman today, or Batman, or all three at some point. So. Just knowing his sole goal is to, if not amuse himself, is just to constantly irritate the hell out of Batman. I remember this was a figure in the action figure line, him in the rocket pack in the helmet.
Well, of course, man. Any way to make variants.
Which I don't think they did too. I think it was mainly Batman, of course, but they did the one Phantasm figure, and I think it was just the one. Maybe there was two Joker figures, but I want to say I thought there was just one.
Well, it's nice to know that they had a little bit of restraint.
Yeah, of course they just made the three characters. It wasn't like they did, anybody else, and just like throw in Two-Face in the Mask of Phantasm line just to make another shitty variant or something.
Well, Kenner had the license at this point, right?
Oh yeah, they were pretty much the first ones to really
hammer home the variants.
Variants.
I mean, I had quite a few Batman variants, but I think some of them, based off of their accessories or if they came with a vehicle, were the reasons that I gravitated towards them, or they had like a cool look to me that actually worked. Because I would be like, oh, well, I would pretend that they were just like different Batmans, like how we had 89 Batman, 60 series Batman, whatever.
Yeah.
So I would kind of like create my own little universe with my Batman variants.
I know some of them I thought look kind of cool, but I was always about the essential looking Batman from that line, whatever it was. Give me the one that looks yeah. Gosh, she's built too. The way they drew her.
Damn.
God, this has a sad ending to it all too. Like another thing that, and I don't think they do as much of in kids animation for fear of like kids crying and parents are losing their shit. You made my kid cry. Give me money. Like it's great that they throw a lot of emotion into this movie. That it doesn't end well for anybody. And Joker just watching it all go up and just laughs. Which I kind of like to think of, because I look at this movie as part of continuity with the animated series. So I like to think of it as that Joker obviously lives, if I look at it that way. But I like to think it was like she beat the shit out of him and then turned him into Arkham after she really just spent a great deal of time just beating the hell out of him, taking out her anger on, and then decides, I'm going to at least stop the killing now. Even though Joker's probably the one guy who probably deserves to die most.
Right. That's usually the case.
Yeah. But all of this, man, it's so cinematic. All the visuals here. This and this segment with Bruce sitting in solace and Alfred trying to comfort him. I mean, all of that. It's just, God, it's so great. And it's such a great speech by Alfred here. This is really special that she left that there for him. I just think that's, and the music, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's great to know that he knows she's alive, but she's never coming back. God, it's just, it's beautiful, beautiful writing. And I'd assume too, like based on what we're seeing here, like this beautiful woman is going to spend the rest of her life alone and broken, and that's sad.
Especially sad for all the dudes that try to make a move.
Yeah, like they're just going to, she may not kick them in the nuts, but she will with her words. So I have this on sound, and I'm getting goosebumps just watching this. I don't even have the sound on, and I know what's happening, and it's giving me chills already. Eyes closed and then slowly open.
Yep. Then boom. Yeah.
Yeah, it has the same effect on both of us. This is not planned, people.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think anytime they do that noise when he's like shooting that out, yeah. Now that was it.
That's it, man.
What a quick view, and what's up to JSP that popped in here at the tail end. We kind of fluctuated between viewers, which is usually the case on this show. People dropping in and out. Now maybe the notification things being kind of dumb too, but man, what a
it's a masterpiece, dude.
Hey, there's Abe Vigoda. There you
go.
Abe Vigoda. Yeah. Get it in your head.
God.
As we discussed, we could see how this could be a bit of a turnoff for the young kids out there, but definitely if your kids are kind of getting into superheroes, wait until they're maybe a little bit older and show this to them so they can really just absorb it and appreciate what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like you could pretty much get away with showing a lot of the episodes of the animated series, like Christmas with the Joker, and I don't know, Two-Face. Two-Face, I feel like is even though I loved it as a kid, like I mean, watching it now, like it's some episodes a little bit more lighthearted than others. Like Almost Got Him. You could show that one to a kid. Christmas with the Joker, Nothing to Fear. If you're so smart, why aren't you rich? And you know who this is singing this ending song here, dude?
Let me get it.
You are familiar with her movie appearances. I love the song too.
Give me another hint.
Well, her boyfriend in this particular film got a gun rack for a birthday gift.
Oh, can't think of her name.
Come on, man, come on.
I can see her face. Now. I can see her face. Abe Vigoda.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Ava, who played Mike Myers' girlfriend in Wayne's World.
I just did that because you couldn't remember his name earlier. Shit. Shire. Damn it.
Tia. Or just say Cassandra from Wayne's World. Would that work out better for you?
Man, just tell me. Can't remember her name.
Well, it's I've never heard anybody say her last name, but Tia Carey or Carey. Like I said, I've never heard anybody actually say her name, so that's why for years I've just tried to pronounce the best I could.
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, it's Vanessa Williams. But yeah, Cassandra from Wayne's World is doing this ending song here. Definitely has
saxophone.
Yeah, it's a good song. It has like an adult feel to it. That's something you would hear at the end of a live action Batman movie. But that is our commentary for Mask of Phantasm. So I think we did a pretty good damn good job of. I really just botched that one.
It's all right. It's okay. I botch stuff all the time.
And it was great to finally 1993 people. Whew.
We're old. This came out when we were 9. How about that? That honestly, that's probably why I didn't. I caught it like on TV or inevitably on VHS because this was the beginning of that transition of moving from watching cartoons to sports. Got to play sports. Yeah. Chase the chicks.
Which I was doing that anyway, but I had to do the stuff in secret because you just didn't have, 9-year-old girls when you're a 9-year-old boy. Oh man, he's into that dorky stuff.
JSP, I saw this on New Year's Eve in the theater, and Fedmon suggested that one episode from Justice League Unlimited. We'll get to a lot of those episodes down the road for sure, because there are a lot of memorable episodes.
Oh, yeah.
JSP also said, I got my Mondo Batman Mask of the Phantasm poster with Stacy Keach's autograph.
Man, my hat's off to you. That's badass.
Is badass. Don't forget the pop quiz. Is that one of those? Is that in reference to? I don't know what JSP means by that.
I don't know either.
Maybe it was one of those things where, because you remember how some DVDs used to have like the quizzes, like the trivia as like the bonus features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that was the case. Well, anything you got in closing? Any recommendations?
No, not right off. I just say if this doesn't put you in the spirit to pop in your DVD set of Batman Animated Series, where there's the single disc with like 5 episodes, or a full season, or the Blu-ray, or make you want to watch Justice League or Batman Beyond after listening to this, then obviously we didn't do a very good job.
Go buy figures. Do what I do.
Yeah,
blow all your money.
Yeah, go blow all your money on eBay or Big Bad Toy Store, or Amazon. Buy some DC, Batman animated figures from DC Collectibles. Hopefully this puts you in the spirit to, or go play Batman the Animated Series on Super Nintendo.
Here's what it was. Pop quiz. Does anyone know who the voice of the DA in this movie is more famous for?
I've already mentioned it. Did you not listen to the podcast?
Well, that was a question. Well, JSP popped in late. So in case you missed it, Tyler, go ahead and hit him with the knowledge again.
Yes, Ellis from Die Hard.
There you go. Because he hit me with it, and I was like, what?
I was like, look who you're dealing with here, guys. I'm pretty good about my trivia. If you think you're going to get over on me on something like that, you better think again.
I got the jump on him years ago. Or he thought I did anyway, when he was half asleep. We already told that story.
Over shitty Revenge of the Sith toys.
What a time to be alive.
Yep.
I should have bought those Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Hey, kid, back away.
Yeah. The police guard. God. I'm glad you're getting paid to watch this tent that has fucking Star Wars Monopoly in it.
Imagine
ease up a little bit, dude.
Like he tells his wife, like, so what are you on duty for tonight, hon? I'm guarding Star Wars toys at Walmart tonight.
Oh,
they got me in charge of Pop-Tarts and Monopoly.
Oh, babe. And then she just, like, takes her pants off. JSP says, do you know what they sold in theaters with this movie?
I don't recall there being.
Well, JSP was actually there New Year's Eve when it came out.
No.
JSP, hit us up in the chat. We'll talk just a little bit longer. You let us know.
It better not be something you read on IMDb.
I miss that too. A lot of just the promotional stuff. You go to see the film, and they still kind of do this, I think, with kids movies, like with the Lego movie and stuff. You get like a little Lego figurine. Like that's neat. They need to. I'm glad that still continues on in spirit, because that's just a missed thing. And
or like, movie tie-ins with the Happy Meals and stuff like that. You know, most of the time it's just with some.
Bring back the
collector
glass
cups.
Yeah, the mugs, the glasses, the cup, all that stuff. Bring it back.
Yeah, not from one Batman movie that has come out since Batman Begins have they done any kind of like fast food tie-in. Not once. You know, where was the Heath Ledger collector cup with the knife? Saying why so serious?
It's kind of surprised Basically, they sold collectible cups, had artwork for the movie, and a bat helmet on top. Yeah. That's neat.
Cool.
That's
that
neat.
Is very
I like
cool.
that.
Well, I seem to recall like some like cup tops somewhere. I don't know if it was for that though, but that sounds familiar. But that's cool. Thank you for sharing that, bud.
You remember when the Batman cereal came out
for '89?
Yeah, and you could get the bank with it.
Matt Hilton had that bank for years.
Yeah,
I think he still has it.
Mine is somewhere. I'm sure it is it's at my parents. It's in some box or some plastic tote. God.
And you will continue to leave it there because I'm not a true fan.
No, when I get the bigger space, it's all going to be on display.
By the way, do you have the Hot Toys Batman and Joker on display right now?
I do not, but it's sitting right here. I picked it up last weekend. Sure. No, my plan, I think what I'm going to do, because the space in these cases is kind of limited. I'm going to have the Hot Toys Batman Joker on this top shelf here, but I'm going to push it back, and then I'm going to have the animated figures all in front of them.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I think.
You're sure that you do?
I will, man.
Because if I'd been drinking out of the toilet, I might have been killed.
That's a quote
from
something.
Yeah, it is a quote from something. If you can't, you can call Joe and see if he knows.
Well, let's just get him in. Just send him an invite.
Yeah, he just pops.
He just shows up. He's like, "What the fuck?" You know how he.
Guys, I was in the middle of eating. What are you doing to me here?
I think there's going to be a time when I'm just going to start the broadcast for Fans of Power and not tell either of you guys, and then you'll jump in and you'll be putting in your shit, and then Joe will go through his usual routine of like, what the fuck? You just hear him at this, what the fuck?
Because he waits to the last minute every Sunday night to, tears everything down and has to, super glue it all back together for, Sunday night. No one told me we're recording tonight Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
JSP says, I will send you a pic, which we got. I can go ahead and show that right now and see if... Oh, he actually sent it to you too. We'll do I'll do the screen share.
All right.
We'll make it weird. Let me click on me. There we go.
No, I had not seen that before.
That's neat.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Yeah.
I still would like. I like that. I still to this day always wanted the Mr. Freeze cut from Batman and Robin because that was the one cup I wanted the most from when that movie came out.
Well,
it's like, I didn't care about any of the other. I just wanted the Arnold Mr. Freeze one. I've already looked it up on eBay. There's not many options, and if I wanted it, it's kind of beat up, and it comes with poison ivy and background. I'm like, ugh.
Well, I mean, just let's keep an eye out the antique shops and flea markets because
that's the Batman Returns cups. I wanted those too because I wanted one as a kid.
Fedmon asks, which Batman the Animated Series girl would you like to be with?
Are we depending on their personality or just for like a night of passion kind of thing?
Here? And she will not kill you at all. So,
well,
let's work that into the aspect with all of those characters. Honestly,
Talia is probably the least likely to cause any harm towards you until she decides, I want you to marry me and take after my father. Catwoman Catwoman probably be gone before you wake up. And so that means there's no like cuddling the next day, and you left crying. But so it would either be Selena Kyle, Talia. I'm gonna say Andrea because I don't really have a thing for Harley Quinn or Poison Ivy. I really don't.
I don't either. I'm gonna go with Selena Kyle on this one just because. I don't know, man. Pfeiffer from Returns is always it's always stuck with me throughout the years. And I know that doesn't really apply to the conversation because this is the animated series, but
Talia because I love her accent. I love Talia's accent. So, plus when she has that brown hair down in front of one of her eyes, I mean that's just telling you to come hither, So yeah, I'll probably go with Talia. I'll go and run the risk of her father walking in. Is that what you think?
No. Oh man. All right. Well, let's go ahead.
I like this. We need more questions like those.
No, that's what we'll start doing. Yeah, we'll definitely make that the point to at the end of the show. If we got some people in the chat, even if it's one or two people, we got more
superhero related questions throw out to us. It's fun to just answer questions like that.
Toss out some shit.
They don't have to be like who would boink, but just fun hypothetical questions like who has better this, or who would you, if you could be one, who would you be, or or whatever. Those are always they're just fun fanboy questions, and that's what we like to celebrate here. At least not in the most obnoxious manner that fanboys tend to be. So, but next week I don't know what we'll do. I guess we're longer overdue for G.I. Joe the movie. Now that we've got finally Mask of the Phantasm under the belt.
Well, they have scheduled me to work next Saturday, so
it'll be a standard half-hour episode.
I'll say if it holds, we'll do that, and if something weird happens and they cancel it, then we'll knock out G.I. Joe the movie.
If they cancel it, you don't have to work with the G.I. Joe the movie. And if you have to work, then let's just do.
We could just do part 2,
of the Demon's Quest,
and wrap that up, or we'll figure it out. Maybe
the Laughing Fish.
I thought, weren't we saving one of those for Danielle when she joins us? No, I know we're doing Returns, but I thought there was a specific animated series.
We did the Joker's Favor with her.
Maybe that's what it was.
But we didn't say the laugh. Well,
we'll see where.
All right. Then if we let's do Vendetta, Killer Croc's first appearance.
All right.
So yeah, if Nathan's not working, we're covering G.I. Joe the movie. The cartoon movie, not that piece of shit with Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans.
That would actually Vendetta. Be kind of funny to do.
No, it would not, and I'm not doing it.
I'll just watch it. He can watch the other one. I'll just watch this at the same time, and then when we're just talking about two different things, and none of it'll make any sense.
Yeah, or I can just watch you watch it, and you can sit and laugh and make fun of it, and I'll just enjoy you watching something that I swear on anybody's grave I'll never watch again.
I'll make him watch it again.
No, you won't.
Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're new to the channel, please like and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, because I might have something a little different and special planned either later today or at some point tomorrow.
Streaming with no pants on.
No, I'm not going to do the Joe Amato trick.
Yeah.
Check out all the links down below. Make sure you download us on Podbean or iTunes. You can also find us probably anywhere where podcasts are available. I haven't really looked into it, but Doug, our wrestling show, is just like reaching out to weird places. So internet's funny that way. Check out Joe's t-shirts. Hit him up for a custom like I did with the slime pit, which was great. I actually had a conversation with one of the Fans of Power listeners about that. They actually bought a slime pit and a buzz off. It's like I was inspired. So there we go. We're helping we're helping the economy. Check out Fans of Power, the He-Man and the Master Universe podcast, hosted by Tyler Baker, Joe Amato, and myself every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Might want to look.
And if you're listening, we're doing fan questions tomorrow night. So if you are
fan Q&A, ask us anything.
Yeah. And we'll also discuss the new He-Man toy that's been announced too. So we'll save that discussion for tomorrow night, but it'll be devoted to listener questions. So if you listen to both podcasts, have a slew of questions to answer, and we're making it all about you. So,
which Tyler doesn't do that very often.
No, I tend to make things about myself.
Exactly.
That's my comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw the post that Axel had made with your wall of art, and I was just like, man, we got to get you on the show so we can talk about all the anti-nausea medicine you have to consume every time you have to put Tyler's face on anything that you have to.
Well, just remember, there is another one coming sometime in the near future.
Barf. Fedmon, you're kind of on the right track with that question, but it's not Joe. Might be me. Anyway. What? In terms of the secret thing that I am planning. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And anything, like any other questions and stuff, I'm going to talk to Joe about this as well. This should sort of be off stream by now. But I think what we should start doing is with Fans of Power, because those videos get comments from people, sometimes necessarily that weren't there live. If they have questions or comments, we'll just read those at the end of the show as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until then, we will see you in the future to talk about the past. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.